as they go through this important phase of their lives. We focus at equipping them with knowledge that is mainly based upon the Word of God, that they may acquire wisdom that will help them to overcome every challenge that they may encounter. We also focus at equipping their parents with relevant information that will enable them to bring them up in the ways of the Lord, and also bring them up in a way that they will become responsible citizens, especially in the 21st century, where we have so many changes that are affecting the parents, the teenagers, in ways that was never anticipated. So stay tuned. We thank you so much that you have been together with us, this being the second show. May God bless you for your feedback that you have continued to receive. And stay tuned, because there's much that you'll expect from our show. We are coming live from Happy Church Dream Center that is based at Roiro, under the leadership of Reverend Hosea and Pastor Zipporah. And may God bless you so much, servants of the Lord, for what you're doing to ensure that this generation is brought up in the ways of the Lord. My name is Teacher Paul, and together with me I have my friends who shall be discussing today's forum with, and I want to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves.
Hello viewers, my name is Bonita Wanjao. I'm a born-again Christian and go Form 2. Ningependa shout out to my dad in Seattle, my mom and sis back at home. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much.
Hi guys, I'm Stephen Kihara. I'm saved. I'm in Form 3, and I just want to welcome you to our Pathfinders show. Stay tuned and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, viewers. I'm Jocelyn Kawira. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm also a mentor for the young people. And this evening, I welcome all of you from wherever you are viewing us, as we discuss how our teenagers are supposed to be handled, and also as they tell us what they feel as they go through this stage. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. And as we get into today's topic, it's a topic that we developed from our last discussion that we had. Last time we had a discussion that we were defining who is a teenager, because the program being about teenagers, and also we are bringing in their parents, because we realized if we only focus on addressing the teenagers and we are not bringing in their parents or the guardians, we may not be effective in ensuring that the way they are brought up is accomplished in the best way possible. So even the parents, you are so much welcome to this program, and even the guardians, and also you may have a friend who is a teenager. This show is for them, because even if at the moment, and you are a parent, you have a child who is not in the teenage years, a few years to come, you'll need this information that we are sharing on this platform. So you're also much welcome, because we say some of the things, some of the values that you need to instill in your child when they are still young. So if you only wait until when they get to the teenage years and start maybe introducing them at that time, you may realize that maybe you are a bit late. So as early as now, the things that we are discussing on this platform, they will be of much help to you. So as we discuss now who is a teenager, we realize that, and we learned that from being guided by Teacher Jocelyn, that this is a transition phase, that the teenage years, that from 13 to 19 years, there are so many changes. These changes include physical changes, emotional changes, psychological changes. And all these changes are happening in these teenagers. And because of the changes that are happening each and every day, the way they react, it affects the way they react, the way they even respond to people and to things. So today, I want us to discuss and understand how and why the teenagers will react, or I can use the word how they will behave in response to certain things or even to people. We understand the basis of those behaviors, and at the same time, because as we even focus the parents, because sometimes the parents will respond in a certain way to a certain behavior simply because they don't maybe understand why this young one is behaving the same way. So we want to try to understand why teenagers behave in a certain way. Do all behaviors, are we supposed to respond to these behaviors in the same way? Are there categories of the way teenagers behave? So by the end of this discussion, all those areas will have been tackled. And so as you continue watching, I would like to request you that you may share our page, the Dream Center page, Facebook page. We are also live on Facebook, and please just stay tuned, engage us. Let it be a lively discussion over those. I try to read some of your comments at least to understand where we are now. Getting into today's topic, I want to bring in Bonita, and let me start with Steve, and help us to understand the way you, right now, the way you respond to some things. Ama kuna vile unafanya few things today, and when you look back, una realize that there are some things you used to do in a certain way, lakini sai now umeingia into the teenage years. Do you have some of the things that you can point out that maybe you respond in a different way?
Okay, thank you, Chapol. That's a good question. Okay, according to mimi, kuna ile age ndogo yenye ukihitaji nguo, mnaenda na mam, mnaenda mnanunua, anakupimishia hizo nguo, anakuchagulia size, anakuchagulia design, lakini sahi unataka hadi unaweza enda kujinunulia nguo na mama sijue. Wewe acha ione kwa mwili juu, ukimwambia nataka kwenda kununua nguo, anaweza kwambia fanya hivi, tupangane ile siku ile nikupeleke twende ukanunue. Na wewe sasa utakijua tenda kuchagulia ile design yenye utaki. Yeah. So
that's one of the areas that you may realize. I think there are some changes imefanyika. Initially ungeambia mzazi ndio ninunulie kila kitu, lakini sasa hii there are that thing nataka nijifanyie mimi mwenyewe. What else? Maybe can you remember another?
Okay. Vitu zingine nika story na shule. Asubuhi unaweza amka, kuna time yenye mzazi alikuwa anaamka asubuhi mapema na kutayarisha nini ndio utoke uende shule. But now uende umejisetia alarm, ujiamshe, ujiprepare, na unaweza hadi toka kama mzazi ajui. Yasikie kumbe Steve alitoka. Na uende shule, muonane jioni. Jioni unarudi, hakuna story nyingi, lakini ukiwa ile age ndogo ile, ukiwa mdogo, ungemwambia kila kitu jioni yenye mmefanya ukikam.
So like there's a time maybe your mom or your dad akifika jioni, then unamu update almost kila kitu kimefanyika during the day. Lakini as you get into these teenage years una realize saki your story.
Unaonaga vitu zingine hazina haja ni za kujiekea. Labda uulize, na akiuliza ni utampatia tu story tu kiasi juu unataka tu cut short, utaki story nyingi.
Okay, thank you so much for that honest contribution. Now maybe I want to bring in Teacher Jocelyn. From what you've heard Steve sharing about, there's some kind of behavior change as he progresses in the teenage years. Maybe is that an expected change in a teenager, the change in behavior?
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Paul. And thank you so much, Steve, for that contribution and for being sincere and open. If I may answer your question, Teacher Paul, change in behavior is expected as the teenagers grow. why we are calling them teenagers
Yes.
is because they are preparing themselves for independence.
Yeah.
They are preparing themselves for that adult life.
Mhm.
So we expect that they start gaining some independence. And that gaining of independence, to us parents, we
Yes.
think it is a change in behavior.
Yes.
But this child is only trying to mature and prepare themselves to detach from the parents so that they can be adults and they can start making their own decision. So you hear Steve says that the way you would wake up and prepare and go to school
Yeah.
without telling mom.
Yes.
It's unlike there before where you would even want to be taken to the bus or to be escorted to school. So he's like, now I need to mature up.
Yes.
And after all, my parents have been telling me I'm no longer a small baby. Maybe another baby has come. So there has been a challenge. So this challenge from around 9, 8, 7 years, the parent has been telling this boy, this girl, you do things on your own. They have been sending them to the shops why they were not, what they were not doing before. So they have been telling them, mature up, mature up. So when they reach now this age, they feel, yes, I can mature up. So I can go to school without telling anybody I've gone. I can come back in the evening and continue with life without sharing all what I went through, because it is a stage. They are growing up, and that behavior change is expected.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's something that the parents should accept. Because
Yes.
the challenge comes in when now, as you were explaining last time, that it's like they have been driving a car and all of a sudden comes to a stop.
Yeah.
So they think now, because there are this onset of the change of behavior,
Yeah.
some of the parents think that this is like abnormal.
Okay, let me not say that the parents may think it is abnormal. What the parents are not prepared for is to accept the change.
Yeah.
Because this parent has been insisting on this child. You are not a small child anymore. I will not bathe you anymore. Wash clothes.
Yeah.
So the parents, at the back of their mind, they want this child to mature.
Yes.
So they are pushing them to mature. And the push has been too much. Then all of a sudden, this person is discovered, yes, I can mature. Now the parent is lost. It's like the parent was not prepared. What did I expect? And that is where now the parent miss the direction. You are expecting your child to grow. You've been communicating to them, by all means, you must grow.
Yes.
You must do adult things. I can send you to the shops. You can prepare food for the children. I don't have to prepare lunch for you. You can prepare for yourself. All of us, and then, now when they pick up that responsibility, the parent is left in a shock. They were not prepared for what this person is going to do. And another thing is, the parents expected this person to mature up, but they had their own expectation, as in they had their own drama, they had their own play. So when I want my child to grow, there is that which I want the child to grow into. I forget that the teenager is an individual who has their own behavior, they have their own likes, they have their own taste. So that is where now the parent get concerned. When the teenager start bringing their own personality, and the parent and their own image of what they want this child to become. So that is where now the behavior becomes an issue. The parent may start thinking like the behavior is not okay. But the behavior is okay as per this individual. The parents and their own behavior, which they wanted the child to behave like that way, but then the child cannot read the mind of the parents, and the child is an individual with their own likes and dislikes. Yes.
So that now becomes the major challenge.
Yes.
Now, we're talking about the behaviors and the way these teenagers respond to issues and even to people. So now, I think now we need to have, even now the parents need to understand how to respond to some of these behaviors or the traits that they start being expressed by their teenagers.
Yes.
Now, are all behaviors the same, maybe from.
Okay. Behavior is not the same. And I think I would explain to you in this way.
Yeah.
Behavior among teenagers or among any other person it can be put in two categories.
Yes.
There's that which we call risky behavior,
Yes.
and there's that which for the teenagers I would call difficult behavior. So the child, as they are growing up, they will have to behave.
Yes.
Their personality has to come out. That is the fact. Their individualism has to come out. And it will come out in a certain behavior. But now, the behavior which will be portrayed can be classified into the two classes I've given you. There's the risky behavior and there's the difficult behavior. Risky behavior is that which can cause harm to the child. Or it can cause some psychological problems. Or it can lead them to some danger. That is what I'll call risky behavior. So this young person has been observing so many things in life from when they were small children. One of the things is that they have been observing people taking things like drugs. There are some homes, it happens. There's the Sonder for the adults and there's the Sonder for the small children. Whereby the Sonder for the adult becomes the alcohol and the children take the Fanta and the Coca-Cola. So this child has been imagining, the day I'll become an adult, I'm going to take the Sonder for the adults. There are those homes, this boy was being sent to the shops to buy the cigarette for uncle, for daddy. And they were told, don't take this one, it is for the adults. So this person, you keep on communicating to them. You are no longer a small child. You have grown up. What are you telling this child? You can now do the things which adults are allowed to do. So now, when a child now goes into that things of taking the alcohol, the cigarettes, all forms of drugs and all that, this behavior is risky because it can cause harm to them. It can lead to damage of the brain. It can lead to damage of the liver. It can affect them in so many ways, and especially now that they are teenagers. The drugs, actually, generally drugs, they affect somebody who is taking them, especially if you are under 25, 26 years, especially the brain, because that time the brain is still developing. So it can affect that one very seriously. So this child has been seeing teachers taking the drug, my father taking the drug, my uncles taking the drugs, and they feel now they are adult. But you have never defined to them what is who is an adult and what is this you are telling me it is for the adult. So they can get into it. Another thing is that the TV tells us the children should not watch some things when they are under 10. So they are over 10. This message in these programs which are sent not for children under 10, they involve things like sex. So this child is over 10 and they can now watch those programs. So this sex is for adults. I was a small child, now I'm an adult. So I can involve in it. But it is a risky behavior because even if you are 12, 15, 16, you are not ready for family life. Now that's a risky behavior. So there is the risky behavior which can harm you and which can affect you. Now there is what you call difficult behavior. Difficult behavior is that which, okay, it's not harmful, but it can bring a conflict or a misunderstanding between the parent and the child. So that thing a child can be doing, and it's not something which is open. For example, a child who decides that for the rest of their time, they'll be doing things their own way, the way Steve says. I will not ask for clothes. I will look for money, or I'll borrow money. I will not say what I want to do with this money, and I'll go and buy the clothes. Now, when they come home with the clothes, the parent does not like this type of clothes.
Yes.
When they try to communicate with the Steve, why have you bought these clothes? Steve is like, why? What is your concern? Is it going into a body? It is going into my body.
Yes.
So now that is a difficult behavior because the parent is not comfortable,
Yes.
but Steve feels it is okay. Yeah. The parent want to know what time will Steve go to school,
Yeah.
so that they can also monitor, maybe know how safe they are and all that. But Steve doesn't feel like I need to communicate all these things, all these fine details to my
Yes,
parents. I'm
yes.
an adult. So that is what I'll call difficult behavior. Because if a misunderstanding arises there, it's not that it is risky. After all, it was only saying, I am off for school. That was the only thing missing.
Yes.
But now the parent is not comfortable, but Steve is okay. Whether he's saying I'm going or I'm not, he doesn't say, you still go. So it is not risky.
Yeah.
But now it is a difficult behavior. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. So for the difficult behavior, it mainly affects the relationship
Yes.
between the parent and the teenager.
Yes.
But now when you come to the risky one,
Yeah.
there's a harm, maybe a physical, even psychological
Yeah.
harm.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great. Now, from what Steve shared about, sometimes they prefer like keeping things to themselves during this phase. It's like one of the expected maybe behavioral changes.
Yes.
No, I want to bring in Bonita and like just to understand one of the behaviors of how the changes that are taking place in their teenagers. So like in a day, like in a normal day. So do you spend maybe most of your time alone or together with your family members? Would you prefer?
I mostly spend time alone.
And during that time, mostly, what do you think about? What goes on in your mind? As you know, you're preferring to spend time alone.
As for me, I
Yeah.
usually think about my future, my goals, my purpose in life. Yeah.
So, compared to maybe when you are a bit young, and now, was that the case, or there's something that you realized there's a change?
It is not the case. Unajua ukiwa mtoto
Yeah.
unapenda kukaa na mama, unamuuliza maswali. Mara tukaambia uende tu ucheze, unamsumbua. Sasa hii we yearn independence. Tunataka tu independence.
Yeah.
We like being independent.
And that this spending time alone is like unakaa tu where unaona watu, or sometimes you even lock yourself up in the room and stay and close to kondani peke yako.
Jo, ukiwa na watu hakuwezi kuwa silent, so
Yeah.
I usually go to the room.
Yeah, unajifungia huko, unakaa huko peke yako. So there's that sense of independence you're trying to identify with. Oh, thank you so much for that honest contribution. Now, as I bring in Teacher Jocelyn, as you've heard from what Bonita has shared with us, now that need for independence, I want to do things on my own. So, and sometimes she's saying you can even lock yourself in a room. So can we categorize that as a risky behavior or a difficult behavior?
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Paul, and thank you so much, Bonita, for your contribution. Not wanting to be with people, I'll start from there.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing for the teenagers.
Yeah.
Okay, it starts from far. A teenager, when they are growing up, they are going through so many things
Yes.
in their body. And some of these things are embarrassing. Yeah, for them. The body is enlarging. Yeah, there are inner things happening in their body. The hormones are growing up and all that. So these things which are going on in their body makes them sometimes feel uncomfortable in the presence of people. they think that which they are feeling inside, it's so naked to everybody.
Yes.
So when I am with Bonita, she's like, wow, this one can see me inside. So she wants to be alone, to deal with her issues alone. It's a difficult time for her. And I want Teacher Paul to say this.
Yes.
Sometimes parents think that teenagers they become difficult when they reach this time.
Yes.
I'll tell parents this. The way you are finding it difficult to bring up a teenager, and you are finding it difficult to understand your teenager, it is the same way the teenager is finding it difficult to cope with those changes that is making this person become a teenager. So you parents, you are feeling it's difficult to understand them, to bring them up. But that which is making them become difficult, it is also difficult for them to cope with that thing. So this will make sometimes the teenager feel like being alone, to handle our issues alone. And they want to be in an enclosement where there's nobody seeing them. When they are outside, they feel like everybody is seeing me. They become too conscious of everything. So they want to be alone and handle their things alone. Sometimes they don't even know how to express how they are feeling. Bonita said it very well. When she was young, she would share with mom everything. Any encounter, it was a story for mom. So it was very easy to tell mom, I went to whatever, we went for a birthday, so chapare on a teacher, sijui, so sijui walichokozana na huyu mwingine, hawa watu wanapigana. She had many stories, because she would see and it was not affecting her. Now the thing she's going through, one, she doesn't even understand. Then she doesn't even know which ones do I use to make this person understand me. So in that case, the best thing is I can stay alone. So they most of the time prefer staying inside and in their own rooms alone than staying with the family in the sitting room or sharing a meal with the family. They would prefer to be alone. Now, in terms of categorizing this type of behavior, I would say that one is a difficult behavior. Not being in the presence of other people, it can be a difficult behavior because the parents in particular want to understand this person. The parent is concerned. My child is in the room. The parent is concerned that this child may be even interacting with other people who could be causing harm to this person. So the parent wants to know more, but this child does not want to talk. This person does not want to stay with the others and share with the other people. So that becomes a miscommunication. So it can be difficult. And sometimes this behavior can also be risky, especially if they are in the house, they are not communicating, they are not sharing what is in them, they are not opening up. Sometimes they are suffering, and it can lead to depression because they feel like I'm all alone in this world. I've told you that they feel like what they are going through, it is so unique. The other day, Steve asked, he would want to know whether the parent went through these things. And as parents, we are not ready to share our details in black and white, how it was for us. So, this child may be wondering, all these things I'm going through, is it normal? So in that confusion, they might feel mine is so abnormal, and they go into depression. And because they are enclosed in their room alone, they are not opening up, it can be also dangerous. So this behavior is a bit tricky. It can be difficult and it can be risky. And that is why we encourage open communication. So that at least this child can open up and pour out the struggles, the worries, and the concern. And the parent be ready to receive the information so that they can share. The child may know I am not abnormal. Because much of why they stay inside and they don't want to interact with so many people in the family is because sometimes they feel they are abnormal. And you see now, we don't define how far this abnormality is. All, like, let's say, for example, when they're in adolescence, the other day we said teenage start a little bit earlier. We tell the girls, don't worry, if you have not started your monthly periods and all that, people are different. So, their classmates have started, you have not started. Or one has started earlier. So you tell them, it is okay, people are different. And people experience differently. When they stay for so long, some take for 2 months before it comes for the second time. We tell them people are different. Now, this child may have got that concept. People are different and experience things differently, such that now when they're in that room of theirs, whatever they are going through, they keep on hammering at the back of their mind. Oh, so me, I'm very different. What I'm feeling, nobody else is feeling the same. You know me, I'm very different. So they don't open up to share that. And they live on everything they see in themselves is different. My breasts have become bigger than for the others, if it is the girl. So I'm very different. Yeah, the boy feels my voice has become too deep than for the others. So me, I'm extremely different. So they stay there worried. And now that worry can lead to risky behavior. So that the not communicating can be difficult behavior, but it can also be risky behavior.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, for giving that now insight. And now, in like for the parent now, just maybe as an example, the parent has come home and found maybe a teenage girl has been in the in her room like all the day alone. So there's maybe those who will come and start banging the door, and okay, like, what is the best approach now that a mother or maybe a parent should take if they realize that there's this teenager who is spending much of the time alone? Because from what I've gathered from it is that it can be a sign of onset of depression, or on the other hand, it can be like what Bonita has shared. It is that there's that sense of independence. They want to do things on their own. Because at the moment, you may not be able to differentiate. Is it depression? Is it because of something that is going in her psychologically? Or is it because of such of a sense of independence? So how should a parent maybe approach such a case?
Okay, Teacher Paul, I would say this. Handling children is not some rules and regulations.
Yes, true.
As in, you can go and read.
Yes.
So when my child is like this, I'll do like this.
Yes.
I'm supposed to do like this. Children, I've said they are different.
That's true.
Personalities are different. Parental relationship with the children are different.
That's true.
So there are no rules. But there's only one universal rule.
Yeah.
Understand your child.
Yeah.
Secondly, have an open communication with your child. So if you find your child is in the room most of the time,
Yes.
and they don't want to open up, and you are getting concerned as a parent, the first thing is don't approach it by force. Because the minute you do it by force, you are going to make it worse, and they will block. By the way, let me tell you, young people, rebellion is natural to them. Let me say it that
Yes,
way.
yes.
Well, I'm using that one because of the way we describe their behavior.
Yes.
I'm using that rebellion in
Yes,
quote. I'm not
yes,
saying they
yes.
should be rebellion. But that which you think is rebellion, they are not talking to you, they are retorting back to you. It's not that it is an evil thing for them. You start describing them from there. Actually, what you need is to understand them. So if this open communication, I meet my son is in the house the whole day, and I'm getting concerned inside me. Actually, parents, I would say that a parent will always have some, they have a sixth sense about their children. When something is not okay, a parent will tell you, I'm getting concerned. My son is spending too much time in the house. in their room and I'm getting concerned. So when you reach that point, parents, and there's that sixth sense in you that is making you feel concerned, please don't bang the door and remove them out. Don't force them not to go to the room. Get away where you can communicate with this child. Be open. Share with them what it means or how you feel. You know, actually, parents, if you own up your feelings directly to the teenager, you tell them, you see, Bonita, when you spend all the day in the room, I get concerned. Don't stop there. Tell them, why do you get concerned? Give them practical examples. And remember, if possible, use your personal examples. All examples of somebody familiar to Bonita, so that Bonita can identify with that person and understand the dangers of staying in the room alone. And then now have an open communication with them. So like now if I tell Bonita, I'm getting concerned that you're spending so much time in your room. This time as I tell Bonita that first statement, the tone I use alone matters a lot. Because if I use a belittling tone or a quarreling tone, Bonita will react in that way. But if I use a friendly tone, and I also approach it when Bonita is relaxed, I've not quarreled her, we've not had a misunderstanding, I approach it that way, then Bonita will want to listen. Yes, ma'am. Why do you get concerned when I spend alone? Remember, Steve said, I don't have to keep on telling them everything. So Bonita feels I don't have to keep on, if there's more children here, we keep on bypassing each other to napigania TV, watch cartoon. I can be in my room and do other mature things. Cartoons ni za watoto. So I'm telling Bonita, I'm not happy when you spend in the room. And maybe at the back of the mind, she's just like, now, why should I go there and sit there? We watch Tom and Jerry with my small sister. So the way I talk to her matters a lot. Then we have a communication. I explain to her my concerns of you being in the room. One thing I'm imagining that because you have a phone, let's take for example, I'm imagining that when you're in the room, there's this tendency because of the privacy of going to some sites that can be dangerous to you. And you can also be hooked to by people and they can introduce you to bad things. If it is Steve, I can share with him. I tell him, Steve, you know, I am concerned with you being in the room alone. And I'm concerned because when you are alone there, you can be involved in some things which are dangerous. Because human beings are supposed to be social. So I'm wondering, when you are there, whom are you socializing with? What are you doing? What goes on in your mind when you are all alone? Then they can share with you their concerns. You know, that will open communication, and then you can have a very good flow as you understand one another. Then the parent will be able to help the teenager and help them come up with other activities they can do to avoid that idleness. But the parent don't go there with a list. I want you from this time to this time, do this. I want you from this other time to this other time, do this. Parent, that will be your own list, and it will never be attended to. So talk with your teenager, agree with them, agree on what else she can do. Because like now, let's take for example, children are at home. There is no school. So if there is no online classes and all that, these teenagers woken up, they have washed the dishes, they have cleaned the house, they have maybe washed the clothes, they have prepared lunch. What next? They have nothing else to do. So they lock themselves in the room. And you want to find out what are they doing in the room. So you can have an open communication. Find out, now when you go there in this room, what do you do? Don't quarrel and don't belittle what they are doing, but understand what they are doing. And also listen to hear that which they are doing. Is it dangerous, or is it something which can make them become better? The other day I was talking with a teenager who told me now, for now, when I'm alone, I've been Googling the youngest millionaires, and I'm seeing what they are doing. So I'm also imagining of how I can become a millionaire by the time I'm 16 years. That's an innovative mind.
Yeah.
So they are alone, but they are not doing something dangerous. So let's parents be open to their children and encourage the children to be open. I'm saying parents be open.
Yes.
Because it is always the other way around.
Yeah.
Parents, we insist the children to be open to us, but we are not open to them.
Yeah.
Let it be the other way.
Yeah.
Be open to your children, and they will be open to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, for that. No, I think there's an issue of the concern that you've highlighted, that maybe, and this now needs communication, because like there are some things that this teenager used to do when she was young, and maybe the parent was not so much concerned, but now they are in the teenage years, and then the way that the parent has changed in the way she is responding to a specific behavior is different. But now she's not maybe explaining to the child why this sudden change. So now if I may bring in Bonita at this level, may help us to understand. Maybe have you in any way would have noticed maybe the way you let me be specific, like your mom, she's concerned when you do certain things that she never used to be so much concerned when you are a bit young.
Yes.
Yes, so you have noticed some of them. Can you maybe highlight maybe one or two, some of the things you've noticed that there's a change in concern?
The first example, unaona for example kama household chores, kupika, kusha, nini.
Yeah.
Alikuwa anaenda na nyinyi kitchen, anakatakata vitu, anakatia everything. So nyinyi mnapika.
Ukiwa young.
Simamia
hakuwalau ati uingie kitchen peke yako.
Unaona na wasiwasi.
And keep on checking.
But now anaenda anawaambia mpike lunch, mpike hii na hii. Haoni kama mtachoma nyumba.
Yeah. So the same thing, but now there is a change in the way she is concerned about it. What else? Maybe can you highlight something else?
Example number 2, ni kama sasa for example kutoka nje. When I was young, nilikuwa natoka nje, anajua tu niko hapo nje, anaenda anaona anacheza, anaenda anaona anacheza,
You're praying with other girls hapo nje. Okay.
Hey, but now,
yes.
Kutoka nje unauliza unaenda wapi?
Yes. Au toki hivi kwa gate unaenda wapi?
Ama sikie ulitoka, atakuja huko kuuliza ulikuwa wapi?
Yes. So initially nilijua hata kama uko hapo nje unacheza, lunch time ikifika atakuja tu lunch. Hawezi enda beyond that. Lakini saa hii, so you've seen there is a change in the way she is concerned about the way you are, like if I say you are behaving to certain issues. Wow, that is great. Thank you so much for that honest contribution. Now, if now this is getting better. Now, Teacher Jocelyn, now you've heard what Bonita has said. Maybe which way can we maybe even talk to the parents? Because now there's a change in the way she is concerned about one behavior, but now the way she is responding is different. Yeah, the same behavior, but different response. And maybe such a parent has not explained to the child why change in the response.
In the response.
Yes. So can you come in maybe and try to help the parents on how to approach such kind of a situation?
Okay. Thank you so much, Bonita. I'm so happy with parents. Let's listen to this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's coming from their voice that we used to do things, and you see, Bonita has put something very interesting. When she was small, when she went to the kitchen, the mother would always be there. To see what she's doing. Amejikata, ameakisha kibiriti mzuri, ngasi iko sawa, And then now she's told to prepare lunch and bring. So now there is that which was being monitored when she was young. Now it is not being monitored. Then she has put it the other one. She would go out and the mother was not monitoring that. And she would play with her children. And then she would be called for lunch and come and mom is not concerned. She is outside there playing. Now when she goes out, yeah, the mother wants to know, where did you go? Whom were you with? What did you do? You know, the very fine details. So, parents, it's the time now we come to this understanding. There are those things we felt they were risky for our children when they were small, and we felt it was not safe for them to do, and we monitored, and it was not a big issue. Now they have grown, we don't care what they do in the kitchen. Bora kuna mchere, na nyanya, na carrots, prepare lunch. If you don't, stay.
Yes.
And now there's that other behavior, which now we never got so much concerned with when they were young, and now we are getting concerned.
Yes.
That is where now the problem comes in. Because you have not told these children, how does it translate from that which I was getting concerned with so much, all of a sudden I don't mind, and that which I never minded so much, all of a sudden I'm minding extremely. So that is now the communication breakdown, which now can bring conflict between parents and the teenagers. And what I would say, Teacher Paul, is, as parents, if we took time with our teenagers, you know, that onset of the teenage age, actually it should start early as a child can understand. If you always explain to them why you are behaving in a certain way, they'll always understand you.
Yeah.
So like that small girl, that small boy, when they want to make an egg on their own, and you are looking through the window to see what they are doing. You see now, you look through the window, you get satisfied, the child is safe, but you don't communicate to them, why are you looking through the window? So it satisfies you, but you never communicate to this child, why are you looking through the window? So when the child now will grow up, they will start wondering, ni kwa nini siku hizi naambiwa nikapike chapati na siangaliwi? Ni kwa nini naambiwa nipike chakula na sikuji kuangaliwa? You get it? Because we never told them, why were you checking on them when they were young? You know, if you told them, I'm checking on you for your safety, this and this can happen. That time when they were small, they didn't know that they can burn the house. And they didn't know that they can get burnt even by the fire or something like that. They see the mother holding the sufuria, so they can also go and hold. That's why you hear children getting burnt. Because they see the mother doing, so they do. So you, at the back of your mind, when this child is alone in the kitchen, you want to check on them because you know they can get burnt. But you have never told them you can get burnt. So, but once you see they are safe, you are okay. You don't communicate. Now that is where now the problem comes. Because now that which they were doing, like when they were going to play, you never used to check on them because you knew when they are with the Tom and Jane and Mary and Joy, and you can hear the noise, and you know your girl, your boy cannot leave that group and go and do something else. They cannot think about it. So now when they become of age, you know, the minute they leave that gate, anything can happen. So you are so much concerned, and you want to get the details. Now you see, now when they were young, you never used to tell them, I'm okay. When you are playing out there, I'm okay, I know you are safe. Now you never told them, but at the back of your mind, you are safe. After all, I know whom they are playing with, the gate is closed, and all that. So you never communicated to them, I feel safe when you are outside there playing. Now when they grow up and they start going outside, because now you know anything can happen. This is a girl. This is a girl whose now emotions have started coming in. This is a girl who now is the stage where they can even get attracted to a boy. You see, like when they are young, growth is very interesting. When these children are a little bit young, around class 4, 5, and 6, these are the children I normally tell the parents, if you remember very well, They came home crying, telling you I was told to sit with a boy in class because they didn't want to be anywhere near the opposite sex. That was a developmental stage, and the hormones in the body were telling them, unlike charges, rebel according to their physics that time. So they were not getting attracted to the opposite sex. And they would cry because the teacher tells them to sit next to the boy in class. They would go and say, "Mom, mi sitaenda shule kesho. Juu teacher aliniambia nikae na if it's a girl, niambiwa nikae na boy, sitaenda shule kesho." So the mother is like, even if Bonita is playing outside there, I know Bonita can never even have anything to do with a boy. So they feel safe. But now Bonita has grown up. The body is preparing for marriage. And that is natural. Actually, I tell parents, if your girl is 14, 15, and you have not seen them getting attracted to the opposite sex, take them to a doctor before things get worse. Yeah? So they have reached that point now, and you know they are looking for any opportunity to be next to the opposite sex. Because the hormones in the body are. And after all, as parents, we were there. We know how we felt. We know any boy who trickled their eyes to us, what it meant. We know for a girl, any boy who just pretended to pass by and the hand just landed on your waist, you know what it happened to you as a parent. But we are not telling the girl what we went through. We are only concerned, telling them, why is this, kwani, what is wrong? Ndio nasikia wanauliza, kwani, what is wrong? Tukienda na kina Jimo, kwani, what is wrong? You know, because hatujawaambia what can happen. It may not even be there. It was like this. We would go out with the boys, we would go out with the girls, and we would feel that attraction. So you are imagining, the minute the girl is outside that gate, anybody can be. The boy, the minute he is outside there, any girl, they'll start talking with that girl. That is the problem we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, for that insight. Now, I want to bring in Steve. Like, for example, when you're sharing, you talked about like there are some things now you prefer to keep them with yourself, because some years back you used to share everything with your parent, mnaongea, unamwambia kila kitu kilifanyika mchana, lakini saa hii akijua ni sawa. So is it the same way if like when you're going through tuseme kitu inakusumbua, would you find it easier to share it with your parent or a friend? Gani hisi yako kwako?
Okay. Unajua roho inafunguka kwa mtu mwenye anakufungulia. So unajua mkipatana na rafiki yako anakwambia kila kitu, kitu yenye hadi huwezi expect. Lakini mzazi ni zile tu stories za kawaida. So kuna topic unaweza leta hapo hivyo, shindwe sanda mwambie afanye nini. Lakini unaona kuna venye unaweza ambia rafiki yako mwambie na mimi kuna venye nilienda hivi, mwambie by that mimi nilikuaga hivyo, fanya aje hivi, ukifanya hivi itakuwa fiti. Lakini saa mzazi aje kuambia anything kumhusu akiwa teen, unashindwa nikimwambia itakuwa aje.
So lakini kuna wakati ulikuwa una share almost kila kitu.
Kuna wakati unajua sana ilikuwaga young, alafu vitu zilikuwa zile za kawaida. Sasa hivi vitu zimekuwa si za kawaida hivyo.
Ama pengine when you're sharing with your friends, kuna wakati inafika sasa pengine unaambiwa wewe hiyo sio mambo ya kuambia mzazi. Kuna time kama hiyo inafika. Na so una feel aje if you try to share it with your father or your mom? So unajisikia aje, ama ni kama
unajua inakuwaga yani, unajua saa wewe mwenyewe ujuika anaweza kuelewa. Usijua kaa yeye amepitia hivyo, kaa ataelewa chini unamwambia, ama ataona wewe hizi ni mambo gani unafanya ama nini unasema. Lakini mtu rafiki yako unaona huyu ni age matu huyu nikimwambia hivi ataelewa. Lakini saa mzazi unaona huyu ni mtu mkubwa, sijui kaa alipitia hapa, aje niambia kitu.
Yeah, so maybe Bonita. So would you be so comfortable maybe sharing everything with your mom, for example?
Si kama kitambo. Unajua kitambo ulikuwa unamwambia every happening. Kutoka shule unamwambia everything. Sasa hii mpaka aulize.
But utakuwa comfortable kushare na yeye kila kitu Eva imeask. Yeah. So Steve, is that the case? Ama kuna vitu zasikia hii siwezi ambia mzazi hata kama ni mimi.
Kuna venye anaweza uliza swali anakuuliza tu ile, inabidi tu umempea jibu ukimpigisha kona.
Hivi. Unaona ndani yako una feel sifai kushare hii na Okay, thank you so much. Now, bringing teacher Jocelyn as we conclude. Now, is there a difference in the way the teenagers now, be specific, in the boys, I refer to them as boys, and the girls, in the way they respond to certain issues? Is it something that is within the development or changes taking place? Do they respond to issues like issue of openness in the same way? Maybe to the parents, maybe they may help them understand that concept.
Okay, thank you so much, Paul, for that. But I want to ask Steve a question before I respond to that.
Yes.
There's something Steve has brought up. I've listened to him and he has said two things. Roho ifunguka kwa mtu amekufungulia.
That's true.
And he has also said that akiwa mtoto alikuwa anashare na mzazi everything, lakini saa hii amwambii mambo yote kwa sababu si mambo, sio mambo ya kawaida, meaning that what is going through si kawaida. So I would want to ask Steve, Steve, which things do you pass through as a teenager and do you think si kawaida kama zile za utotoni ulikuwa unaambia mzazi?
Okay, kuna vitu zenye huwa zina generate kwa mwili physically, and kuna zile vitu zenye huwa zina generate mentally, na kuna kitu yenye unaweza enda tu hivyo tu ukama cross nayo, lakini so unaona saa kuna vitu zingine kufungulia mzazi unaona si haifai.
So unaona kama hizo vitu zina grow kwa mwili yako mzazi yako kupitia, so ndio unaziona zi kawaida kumwambia. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I wanted to hear from Steve, because it helps us to answer the question. You asking me, do girls and boys respond in the same way? And I would say no. When children are growing, the developmental issues of boys are very different from those of the girls. Also in the society, we are preparing these children for different roles. The boy is being prepared to take over the role of the father.
Yes.
The girl is being prepared to take over the role of the mother. Emotionally, these two people do not express their emotions in the same. It's just the way you see in the society. Women will talk. Anything which comes in their mind, they will talk. And depression is less among women as compared to among men. Because men will bottle up anything. The society has cultured them not to open up. You don't share anything. You've heard Steve says that ataenda kwa rafiki, hata rafiki amwambia hii si ya kuambia hii si ya kuambia mzazi. So the way the behavior will come out between the two children, it's going to be very different. I happen to have brought two teenagers of opposite sex, and I can tell you they are very different. In as much as Bonita may not share anything. She has said that mamu akimuuliza atamwambia. It's easier to get information from girls than getting information from the boys. Boys are cautioned not to be so open, and it's like they are meant to believe that sharing everything is a weakness. So they want to show their toughness by bearing with their difficulties in their own way. So they will not share so much. And this can even affect them academically, especially the onset of adolescence. Okay, I don't want to go into this, but statistics have shown that at primary level, girls will always do a little bit better than the boys. Reason is, the challenges girls are going through that time of adolescence, they are able to open up even to the other girls, and they share it out. So it doesn't disturb them so much, and they are able to concentrate on the academics. Boys will not open up on all their experiences. So they stay with so many disturbances, and they are still struggling with academics. So you will find that class 8, boys do not do so well as compared to the girls, because boys have many more burdens they are carrying. But now as they go to Form 4 in our Kenyan system, the boys have already maybe overcome so many of the challenges by Form 2, Form 3. Now they are now back to normal. So you will find now the performance of the boys at Form 4 is much better, because they have sobered up. Now they can exploit their academic potential to the maximum. But the girls who are not, or cannot, they will go to their very best. And also at the same time, now these girls, as they have kept on sharing, they have gone so many other changes and all that, it can now suppress them. So their behavior, the way they portray it, the way they open it up is very different. And parents need to understand. Also, parents don't compare children. So if you have seen, you have two girls, they will also be different. The way one girl will open up is very different from the way the other girl will open up. So what there is that develop a rapport. Try to be friends. And I want parents to pick what Steve has said. Roho ufungulia yule amefunguka. Na nilisema wazazi, please don't wait for the teenagers to open up. Take the initiative to open up yourself. The minute you open up, they'll develop confidence, and they'll see, hey mom, kumbe we si angel, we dandi, kumbe hata we si angel, and then they will also open up. So let the parent take the first move, because most of the time as parents, we are waiting for these teenagers to tell us. You know, a parent comes and tells you she's going through this and this, and she's not talking. Have you talked to yourself? And then when you talk, how did you approach it? Did you approach it from a quarreling point of view? Did you approach it from an investigating point of view? Or you approached it from a friendly point of view? It depends. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, because at least it's important for the parents to understand that they should treat each child as an individual. Don't compare between boys and girls, because the way they respond to those changes and issues might be different. Now our time is almost up. We have and Mshoki, our technician hapa, he's doing a good job. So as we wind up within maybe 2 minutes, I would like just one word from Steve and Bonita as we wind up. One thing you have learned, and then
Me nimelearn, okay, teenagers, they behave differently. Kuna mwenye ata open up, kuna mwenye ata open up. Boys and girls are very different.
Thank you so much. And you also pass the same to your friends. Let them understand some of those issues. Thank you so much. Steve?
Okay, mimi nimelearn ni kind of difficulty behaviors na risky behaviors na naweza taka kuambia maarifu wangu cheki msikize churu tu kinasemwa hapa hivi ni ukweli na mtaelewa kila kitu. Cheki, thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yes. Jocelyn, as we wind up.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you
but-
so much. And before I say this, I want to reply to this Kate Simon Wajera. He says, how do you deal with this stuck story more from teenagers to maintain communication? And I would tell you, Kate Simon, that the stuck story mob inatokana na hiki tumesikia hapa, that they just feel they want to be on their own. But then, in as much as that they don't so many stories, you as the parent, you as the mature person, please try to penetrate with the small stories.
Yes.
Don't start with a big story.
Yes.
Start with a small story, and it is going to help you so much. And I also want to reply to this friend of ours watching us from America, Kibara Wajage. We grew up with him. We were small children in primary school, and he's saying it is awesome. The other day we are discussing with him how much we suffered as we grew up in primary and all that. Thank you so much, Kibara, for watching us from America. And thank you so much, all those parents who have followed us. Our mom, Pastor Zibora, you are on board. You are saying, parent, we need to hear this. It is great. I want to believe, parent, you have heard something. And Stephen, you are saying, Bonita, oh Bonita, just made my day with your frankness. Yes, Stephen, we want you to come, and Bonita will tell you how much she has grown when you are there in America, Seattle. So we are happy parents who have followed us. I want to believe you have got something on how you can handle our teenagers, and I believe it's going to be something that is going to end up bringing a healthy generation. What we want is to have a healthy generation. We want to prepare our teenagers. Remember, these are going to be now the parents when our children will be young. When our grandchildren will be young, we can't reach them. These are the people who will be their parents. So let parents team up and bring up a generation that we can hand over and know that there's going continuation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Because even for reading some of the comments from our viewers, the gadget yenye niko nayo hapa imegoma leo, so at least umetuokolea hapo. May God bless you so much. So as you wind up, at least now you've heard, now the parents and even the teenagers, you know how to respond, how to understand this, which is a difficult behavior, which is a risky behavior, and how to respond to each and every one of them. So may God bless you so much for tuning in. By the grace of God, we shall continue bringing you more topics that affect the issue that you are going through. And as I said, it is not only for the teenagers, even the parents, the guardians, the friends of teenagers. Invite as many people as possible. May God bless you so much. I also want to thank Mushoki for the good work he is doing to ensure that you receive this. And also John is in the technical bench. May God bless you so much and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye.